Hi lovely people, today we will talk about what is emotion intelligence and how it changes everything. Welcome to my channel. My name is Agnes. I'm a nurse and life coach, and in this channel we're talking about how to feel better, live better and connect better. There is one thing that changed my life more than anything else. Not a diet, not a fitness routine, not a career change, not new place to live. It was understanding my own emotions, learning to recognize them, sit with them, work with them rather than against them. What I am talking about is emotional intelligence. And today I want to share what it actually is and why I believe it is the foundation of everything. Health, happiness, relationships, all of it. Quick note before we continue, I am sharing this as a nurse and from my own personal experience, but everything on this channel is for information and education only, not personal medical advice. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional for personal medical concern. Okay, let us get into it. For most of my life, I didn't know I had low emotional intelligence. I thought I was doing fine. I was capable, working hard, helpful, strong. But underneath all of that, I was completely disconnected from my own emotional world. I didn't know what I was feeling most of the time. I just pushed it through. And when emotions did come, they came too big, too fast, overwhelming. I would either shut down completely or react in ways I later regretted. Relationships were confusing and painful. I kept ending up in the same situations, wondering why. It was only when I started therapy and later NLP coaching that I began to understand. I wasn't broken, I wasn't too sensitive, I wasn't difficult, I simply hadn't learned the language of my own emotions. And once I started learning it, everything began to shift. My relationships, my health, my ability to cope with stress, my sense of who I actually am. Emotional intelligence was the missing piece I didn't know I was looking for. So what actually is emotional intelligence? In simple terms, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, and to recognize and respond to the emotions of others. It has four main areas. First, knowing what you feel, being able to name your emotions accurately in the moment. Second, managing what you feel, being able to regulate your emotional state rather than being overwhelmed by it. Third, understanding others, being able to read and empathize with how other people are feeling. Fourth, navigate relationships, using all of that awareness to connect, communicate, and resolve conflicts in healthy ways. It sounds simple, but for those of us who grew up in environments where emotions were dangerous, dismissed, or never modeled, developing emotional intelligence is genuinely deep work. It is not just a skill, it is a healing journey. I want to share why I believe emotional intelligence is the foundation of everything we talk about on this channel. Think about fight and flight, which we explore in previous videos. At its core, fight or flight is an emotional and physiological response. Understanding it requires emotional intelligence. Think about healthy habits. Why they are so hard to maintain. Often it's because emotions are running the show underneath. Stress eating, avoiding exercise when anxious, staying up late when overwhelmed. Emotional intelligence helps you see what is actually driving the behavior. Think about relationships, which we will exploring in deeper later in this channel. Every relationship challenge, conflict, distance, patterns that keep repeating has an emotional intelligence layer underneath it. And think about physical health. The connection between emotional state and physical health is now well established. Chronic stress, unprocessed emotion, nervous system dysregulation, all of those affect the body directly. Emotional intelligence is not separate from health. It is health. Mental, emotional, physical, and relational, all connected through the same threads. The ability to understand and work with your own emotional world. Here is something I find really important to acknowledge. Emotional intelligence is not something we are simply born with or without. It is learned, or not learned, depending on our environment. Children who grow up in homes where emotions are talked about openly, where feelings are validated, where adults model healthy emotional responses, naturally develop higher emotional intelligence. Children who grow up in homes where emotions are dangerous, dismissed, punished, or simply never discussed often don't. Not because something is wrong with them, but because they were never taught. And what was never taught can be learned at any age. That is perhaps the most important thing I want to share today. It is never too late to develop emotional intelligence. I started this work seriously in my 40s, and the changes have been profound. Not overnight, not perfectly, but real and lasting. One more thing I want to mention before I close. Emotional intelligence and healthy lifestyle are not separate conversations. It is generally understood that people with higher emotional intelligence tend to make healthier choices, not because they are more disciplined, but because they understand what their body and emotions are actually asking for. The difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger, the difference between general tiredness and nervous system exhaustion, the difference between needed rest and avoiding something difficult. Emotional intelligence brings awareness to all of those moments, and from awareness, genuinely healthy choices become possible. Not from willpower, from understanding. Okay, this is just my experience and my perspective. Something to think about on your own journey to being healthy and happy. My life changed when I started developing emotional intelligence, and I genuinely believe it can change yours too. Tell me in the comments, did you grow up in a home where emotions were talked about openly? I would love to hear your experience. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, take care of yourself. See you next. Bye bye.